I was watching A.A. Allen. It was a very old video. And I watched this man. They brought a man on a wheelchair. Deaf. No, he was not deaf, but he was dumb. He could not speak. And he was grounded on the wheelchair. And A.A. Allen was just preaching and was sharing the secrets to the power of God in his own life. And all the things that God gave him. And when he was done talking, the people were watching. I don't know why those days they didn't clap and cheer up like we are now. I wonder how those guys preached. You would say something powerful and yet everybody would be looking like you are lying. And he turned right to that gentleman, and the wife was standing there. And he said, how long has he been in this situation? Could not talk, could not walk. And he held him casually. Your love that rescued the earth lives in me, lives in me. He laid his hands, and in an instant, not gradually, in an instant, that man's tongue was unloosed or unlocked, and he lifted him and began to ask him questions, and he told him to stand up. Someone sat on the wheelchair and the man started pushing the wheelchair. I said, oh God, help us, help us. What did we lose? What did we miss in this generation? Hear me, ladies and gentlemen. Our generation is at the mercy of the manifestation of the power of God from the saints to redeem this evil and depraved generation. This is not a generation of blind loyalty again. The generation of our parents would believe even if they don't understand. But this generation is a generation of questions. If you say he lifts, prove it. If you say he changes lives, prove it. We are not going to just believe and say yes sir for nothing. Ministry without the power of God is only an invitation into a life of frustration. Believe me when I tell you, business without the power of God, parenting without the power of God. We live in a time where you will see a child 5 years old and then he begins to confess, I killed my father, I killed my uncle, I killed my mother. And you are wondering, 5 years? Power. The darkness that is upon the earth today will require more than good speaking, good discussion. It will take a display of power, genuine power as of old. And it has nothing to do with being in ministry, as you know. Our generation needs a revival of genuine power. Our understanding of power for the average believer in this generation is falling down and standing up. And while we do not downplay anything that is sponsored by the Spirit, there is a level of power. We need to go back to study history. How far did God use these men? How far did God anoint them? There's frustration in ministry today because the power component has not been incorporated. There is frustration today in the presence of darkness because genuine power, we have not paid the price. And for those who have tasted a bit of it, we have camped around that peripheral level, whereas there are deeper levels of power. Elisha said, oh king, don't be afraid. Let Naaman come and let him know that there is a prophet in Israel. I like Elijah. Prophets of Baal, let's meet at Carmel. This thing we have to settle once and for all. All these debates about the sovereignty of God, no, let's go to Mount Carmel. If God be God, serve him. If Baal be God, serve him. In one day, a nation was brought to his knees by one man, not one church, not one nation. One day, and he said, let's start with you. Call upon your God from morning till night. Oh Baal, hear us. Oh Baal, hear us. Oh Baal, hear us. And nothing happened. When it was the time of the evening sacrifice, he said, get out of the way now. Don't waste my time. That is mastery. That is not, you don't guess with that kind of risk. Listen, Elijah was teaching us. We all claim we're in the New Testament and and we say these guys are in the Old Testament, but see what they did in the Old Testament. We who are now fruits of the New Testament, let us demonstrate the superiority of what we stand on. It is not difficult to take a nation. Believe me when I tell you, it is not difficult to take a territory. Territories were supposed to be taken to the degree to which they see the excellency of God's power. We have replaced power with good speaking, and there is a place for it. But let me tell you, if we believe we are going to save this generation just by the gisting we are saying, we will be disappointed. I can tell you. Why will I not go to a herbalist when I try every option and every pastor prays for me and nothing happens, and yet I am dying? Don't tell people don't go to a herbalist, don't go back to the village, don't go to, you don't know the desperation of people's pain. When you understand what people can do in the presence of pain, you will cry for power rather than condemn people, until you give an alternative that is superior, an alternative that is provable. Forget about this gist that you say don't go to the devil. A time will come where people get used to you being powerless. It's a dangerous state as a man of God. When people conclude you, people have groups in their minds. They know those who are serious, they know those who are sincere but powerless, and they know those who are joking. When they really have problems, they know who to meet. In one day, nations can be saved if they can truly see the power of God, even by the Spirit of God. The Bible says Jesus was declared to be the Son of God with power. Men are not that stubborn. They just have not been transported to a realm higher than science. The replacement for power is philosophy and the explanations of men, and the excuse that men don't have faith.